Hey everyone, this is Joe from ReadyLifestyle.com, and today we're taking a closer look at the Goal Zero Torch 250. The Torch 250 is marketed as a multifunction flashlight. I kind of look at it more as a multifunction battery pack. It really doesn't matter how you look at it. Obviously the features are going to stay the same, but inside, powering this whole thing, you have a 4400 milliamp hour battery, which isn't huge, but it's enough on a full charge to charge your typical iPhone about 1.25 to 1.5 times. So that should be enough for most short-term emergencies. Obviously right here on the top, you can charge the battery with this included, or the integrated solar panel here. The downside with charging it with solar is the fact that it takes between 23 and 46 hours to fully charge the battery. And it's excessive, but it's a small, that's a small solar panel. One of the benefits of that solar panel though is the fact that you can just kind of leave it in a room that has decent sunlight and your battery is going to stay mostly charged. This is exactly what I do with mine. I just leave it in a room where we get plenty of sunlight and it keeps it right around 80%. On the side here, you have a built-in USB charging cable and it fits nicely in the side, tucks away. You can pull it out, plug it in. Once you're done, it's held in by magnets and the cord tucks away really easily. That's the fastest way to charge the battery inside, and that's going to do it in about 5 hours. So if you just pull this thing out of the box, you want to get it charged up and ready to go, pull it out, either plug it into your computer or plug it into your wall adapter, get it charged up. And honestly, I don't ever charge it through the USB cable. I just use the solar panel. So on the side here, you have another option for charging that everybody loves, the hand crank. I've never used it, never had a reason to use it. It's sturdy, even though it is made of plastic. It does charge the battery, but it's not amazing. Goal Zero says you're going to get about 2 minutes of light for every minute that you crank on this thing at 120 RPMs. So obviously it's not a long-term solution, but if you do need to get a little bit of light out of this and get just a little bit of power, maybe charge that battery a little bit and get a little power into your cell phone, that could be an option for you. On the end, you have the 3 buttons that control this entire thing and your 1.5 amp power out, USB power that you can use to charge your phone. On the bottom, you have the floodlight. It's a dual power floodlight. At the highest, it's putting out 70 lumens. And you can, on a full charge, you can actually run that floodlight at its highest for 22 hours, which is pretty good for a little battery or for a little flashlight like this. On the low end, you can run it for 48 hours. Now I really talk about the floodlight because that's kind of how I use this thing the most. We live in an area that loses power a lot. So I do grab this a lot, and I really tend to just use the floodlight. It lasts the longest. It lasts longer than the spotlight or flashlight end. And it lights up a lot and it lasts for a long time. So that's just how I tend to use it. On the end, you have what Goal Zero calls the spotlight, which is your flashlight end. That has 2 settings as well. At the highest setting, it's going to put out 180 lumens, which is plenty bright. It's not crazy like some of those tactical flashlights out there right now, but it is plenty bright when you're just walking around the house or you have to look out in the yard for something. 180 lumens will do it for you. It does have 2 settings. On the lowest setting, it'll run for 15 hours, and then on the high setting, it's going to run for about 7 hours. Overall, the length of the Torch 250 is only 10 inches. It looks kind of big when you're just looking at it, but really when you get down to it, it's only 10 inches long. right around 3 inches wide and then close to about 2 inches tall. So it's pretty small and it weighs less than a pound. It's 14.4 ounces total. So it's not all that cumbersome if you do happen to, if you want to use it in a bug out bag or some kind of emergency kit. It's not going to really weigh you down. It's going to be more than a traditional flashlight, of course. It's not going to be as bright as a traditional flashlight, but it does give you those other options. It gives you that solar panel to charge the battery inside. It is a battery pack to charge your phone. It is a multifunction light. So really you're the pros in my mind outweigh the cons of it being a little bit larger and a little bit bigger than a traditional flashlight. So using it is super easy. Obviously, if you want to charge your phone, you just plug in your USB cable, charge up your phone. And I keep saying phone because that's what people will probably most likely use this to charge, or will most likely charge with it. But obviously anything that can be powered from a USB device or a USB port can be used. So you actually have 3 functions. Your floodlight, which as I said is the one that I use the most, is just that bottom light. You first press the button once, it gives you the highest output. Of course, that's 70 lumens. Press it again, it drops down to about half that, and then press it a third time, and it goes off. When you actually press the buttons here, let me press it for you, you'll see your battery status here in these LEDs at the end. That's the only way to tell how charged your battery is. And right now, you look, I'm at 75% on the LEDs, and that's just leaving this thing sitting out in the room that has some sunlight. I don't go out of my way to stick this in a window or anything. You could probably get 100% charge if you just left it out there. So your spotlight, which is the flashlight, the first click is 180 lumens. Again, press it again and it goes down about half, and then press it a third time, it goes off. Your red light is on the spotlight side or that flashlight side. Your first click gives you a solid red. Your second click gives you a blinking red, and the third click turns it off. That's really it for this whole thing. It's pretty easy, it's pretty simple. It's a lightweight multifunction flashlight if that's what you're looking for. I've had a lot of luck with it. Like I said, this one's about 3 years old, and I've never had a problem. It's always been there for me, and this is what I always grab whenever we lose power here. If you're interested in the outside at all, it's kind of a lightly rubberized texture, so it's kind of nice. It feels good in the hand. It's not really super durable, as you can see here on the end. I'm not sure if you guys can see that or not, but here along the end, I don't use this all that often, and it is kind of running or rubbing thin and getting shiny. But other than that, that's the only wear and tear this thing has. So hopefully you liked this review of the Goal Zero Torch 250. If you did, go ahead and click that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.